Hello guys, good morning. So today we'll be going straight for the assignment, and we are asked to implement interactive feature, add JavaScript to your web page to handle user interaction. So I'll be building a very simple web page. Go to code10.io. Okay. So let me create a pen. I'll call this week 5. Now my basic HTML code, shift 1, tab, I enter. I call this week 5 assignment. Now first thing I'm going to do is to create a section. Week 5 assignment. Before creating the section, the assignment contains implement two types of interaction, e.g. button click or form submission. So we'll start with button click interaction. So we go. Now I'm going to create a section, then that section will have a button. So I can give the section an ID for an about section. Then the section should have a h2 telling this is an about section. A paragraph that tells the user that we provide information about our services and our mission. That's your about section. After you created your about section, you create a button. Now this button should have button should have an ID for the, you can say, change button color. And you can write change button color, button background color. Okay, I want to name it. Now this is a section. Yes, network is bad. So since we are going through all these issues with CodePen, I'll be doing this project with VS Code. So now I'll go to my VS Code, open a new folder. Create a folder. We'll call it Entity week 5. Select it. Prepare your index.html. shift 1, shift 1, enter. So the first thing you do, you create a section, and in that section you create a H2 tag. You call it about us. Give the ID a section. The section ID say about us. Now we've done this one. Let's launch this. Here you can see this. So let's continue. Now the first thing you do, let's create that. Let's use an inline style. So I'll be using an inline style and an external internal style. So I want this section. First of all, let me use my universal style. So universal style, and use my universal style. I said hash. I'm going to put margin to be 0, padding 0, and box sizing to be border box. So we've done this one. So you can see everything 0, 0, 0. Now we can come to this body now. Section the body. I want every content in the body to flex. Display, flex, and I want them to both direction. Flex, justify, contents to center. Okay. Then align item to center. This justify center, align center. Then that's all. So the next thing I want to instead of about, let's put about. So about, I want to style the about. So to style my about, it is this my section. I'm going to say give it a border. Border radius of 8 pixels. Border radius. Before that means you need to assign the border color. Background color. Assign the width 300 pixels. I want to align this text. Align center. Everything should align to the center. Then width again. And give it the height 300 pixels also. So now that I've given this, next thing I can do is to say okay, I think that's all. So the next thing I'll do is to add a paragraph. I can add a paragraph that explains what this section is about. So I say provide information about our services and our mission. So that's what this is all about. Then after this, I can now create another section that carries the button. I can call this create an ID for this. Change button color. This ID will help us when we want to add functionality to this button. Then I can just say change button background color. Button background color. That's what this PPG is all about. That means I'm changing the background color of this button. Now I don't like the space between this and this. So all I just need to go in this my style for my button. I want to give my button a style. So I need a margin top for my button, and then say 20 pixels. So to give a space, margin top. Then what I want now, change the color of the button. Color. I'm really not good with those colors. So I changed it to color white. Text color is white. And the background color should be, let's look for padding of pixels. Border, so border of 1 pixels solid, and look for a color. I don't really know. So it's CCC. So we pick a border radius, so we have created this. Now we created a button. If you click it, nothing happens. So I want to create a section under this button where this, I want to make sure that this button is changing the color of this side. So now if I want to so change BBC, change background color. So I want to change background color of this section now. For me to be able to do this, I have to add my JavaScript now. JavaScript for this, I can come under this body section. I can add what is called the script. I'm just using internal CSS for all this. You can change them the way you like later on. So you can see so now you can see suggestion for me. Create a constant for about, create a constant for change color. What I want to do now is to add an add list now. So see, I want to add this background color for section should be red. Now the next thing that we do, style.about should be red. We also say this so now to change button, I see change button, add event listener. When I click, what do I want? When I click this button, what do I want? I want the background to change, and I created an ID. So about session, I can see about section dot the style of my about section dot my background color. So background color should be equals to red. I'm just picking something that we easily refer to. So now that I've created this style about color to be equal to red, this is it. So when I click on this, I'm expected to see a red color here. I'm expected to see a red color here. Now, this is change button color. Change button color. Okay, no, sorry, I just change button, converted it. So let's click this. You see it has changed to what? Red. But now this changed to red, but it's only affecting, it doesn't change back to the original color. So I'm going to put, instead I'm going to put this operator here will be an equal double 3 equals 2. Then I'll put, if this is red, it should do this. Should print an empty. If it is not red, else it should do what? Should print a red. So let's try this again now. Sorry. You should be right. So I'm going to say about section dot style dot background color dot equal to, and this is where my Opera work. And you see when color is red, you do this, and if it is not red, you should add red. Now we reload this and click this, and you see it's changing. So we've been able to add the button functionality to this. We've done this part of the question that says we should do a what? Button click. We've implemented this interaction. Use JavaScript. Use JavaScript to do the action. Now I want to create the second one called form submission. So to create a form submission, you come back to this. Now you can create another section for form if you want to, but after this I create a form. So since we are not sending data to any server or database, there's no action for our form. So I created a label for name, email, and a submit for my form, but I want this to be a label. There should be another label for message. Alright, message. This one message. You can always add a label to it. If you don't want to do this. Now the next thing we are going to do is to say, okay, this message should have a text area. So the text area for message you can write inside send message. So send message is here. So form element must have a label that has no title. So label. So this is it. I've created our form, but to be honest with you, this form we need to create an ID for this called a form. Let's say form contact info. Let me say contact info. So now let's quickly style this form. So to style it, we say the form should have the same style as our style we added to our section. I'll copy this, come to my form and give it that same style so that it's rounded. Now I'm going to add a margin of 20 pixels to the form so that they are separated. Now also on my form I'm going to add, okay, on my form I want to add a label, a title, contract info. Can add this, can add something like a title at the top of the form. Let's say a H2 tag, say contact info. So now what I want to do is to space these elements. They are together. So going back to this, I can space this by saying okay, label, comma, what again? No, not label, input, comma, text area, and what again? Then button. I want you all to have a space, a margin of 20 pixels from each other. So we'll be able to separate all of them. Separate this from the other one. Now this is what we'll do. You see this BR. This BR slash. I'm going to remove all of them. So removing this. Removing this. Removing this. So I can see my element properly. So now I don't like the fact that my elements are not justified. Center. Justify content to the center. Display influence. Now that we have this, I don't know why this message is not aligning. Okay, let me check. Label. Okay, we didn't add a column and a row. Can I say let this be 3 and row. So we need to add a display type for this, for the form. So before we run to add a display, okay, display type for the form, okay, display flex, then we see flex direction column. So it's better this way. Flex direction column. Now after message, you can increase this one to 5. My form I'm going to remove this height so that's consolation. So there's no height in this. So after removing this height, I have something I can remove, shape this button. Because the button, I can give the button an ID. I can shape my button. So I come here. I see button. The button should have a width of 100 pixels. So you see it reflect here. So this button is not changing. So we have two buttons there. So to be specific, I'm going to use the ID hashtag change button color. Where is it? not a button, it's an input. This is supposed to be a button, please. Button, not an input. I wanted this to be a button. Button, submit. Type, submit. That's what I wanted. So if I click this button, I want this to show. Now this is automatically carrying. They are carrying required, but I don't want the form validation. All this validation is here. I want to be able to put my own validation. Now, to be able to add my own validation, I have to create that validation. So to create that validation, I'm going to go to my JavaScript now. I want to create the validation for my first of all, I'm going to create a form that takes input. I take input from users. That I'll create a variable that collects the input from my contact info, which I've created this. Collect input from my contact info and takes the input from my this. Close this tag, because something I want this to be trimmed to the exact. So trim, add the trim to this trim function here. Trim. Adding a trim function so that it trims the value. Now that I've done all this constant email message, what do I want to do? If my name is equal to an empty set, or my email empty, or take a message equal to empty. This is what you should do. Do this. Say response. Okay, now I have to create a variable that displays a response under the submit button. So I'll go to submit. Under my, I create a div. I can create a div for convenience. Let me just create a div, and I call this one an ID. I call the user as a form response. The response the form gives you should be displayed here. So now when I go to this, I say okay, let that form response, because when I created the function, for contact response. I also need to take constant for form response is equal to document dot get element by ID, then form response, so that it takes the response from the form. So it takes this form response dot. Now was that I'm going to say the text color, text content, sorry, is equals to, I can say please fill in all fields. Then it will appear in this place where the form is supposed to be. The next thing I will now do, if this or else, then okay, let me give it here. I'll say form response dot style dot color. Okay. Form response dot style dot color should be equal to red. So if this is true, now let's check it out. This is empty, so we're supposed to have it. It's not working. Okay, let me call it else. Do this. So else you have to do, you say form response updated, form response dot text content should be equal to thank you, person's name. Let's see the name as we brought from there. Will get in touch by, let's see the person's email. Let me create a variable, the person's email. So we should work. So I think this should work. So this should work. Let me give it a color. Let's see, form response dot style dot color. Yes, this is okay. This is correct. Form response. Let me see. Form response is what is here. So where's the form response after my submit button? So what's going on? So looking at this, I discovered this was just the issue message. I'm using an ID of message. So you see, this is showing. I can create a button border for my, I can say if space it margin button. Clicks on it, this is what I'm seeing. Now let's go back and say we add this, and we submit. See that this is changing. So successfully written our HTML code. If you like, you can go ahead to add your header at this side to beautify the page. Then you come down and add your footer. Then you can customize your page, but this is the functionality they wanted us to add. and we successfully done this according to what we were told. Let me clean this. So now if you go back to your HTML, my marker, add JavaScript to the REST page. We successfully added this implement to type of implemented this. Use JavaScript to dynamically update the content of the user web page. We've done this. Then they say submit your complete code via CodePen.io. Append the CodePen link to tax2 document. So you know the reason why I was using VS Code was because the CodePen was not working. The stuff was not working. But let's try to go back to CodePen and see if it will be working. Let me clean all this. So now firstly you need to, because code 2 they say object ensure your message, your JavaScript code work correctly, explain your work. So now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a Google Doc. So I'll go to my Google Doc. My Google Doc. With a blank document. And rename it Timothy 3MTT week 5 assignment. After doing this, you can come and say thanks to hold it and underline if you like. You see, you should create a summary. You see, you should create what? Object ensure the JavaScript detail and explain your work. So the summary of my work, I've already created something already explaining my work. You can explain your work wherever you fit. See this project, implement two type of interaction to prevent default user behavior, display a thank you message. So this is, copy this, come back here and paste it here. So challenges, fit challenges. This I encountered include ensuring that the form was smooth without refreshing the page, adjusting the button in red so that it toggles between background color. This interaction enhances user so I also face program guide and my ID. Replacing ID with better IDs. Mismatch IDs. So after doing this, the next thing is say ensure your JavaScript code work correctly. We've ensured that it's working correctly, we are sure, but they ask us to do this on CodePen. So what I would advise is to copy this code. Don't know what's wrong with CodePen. So I've already copied this to CodePen. You can see so I'm sure that this is working, but my CodePen is not showing. So this code is working, I'm very sure about it. So I copy this link. I can come to this and add it to this, to the Google Doc, and say link to project. Is the URL of my project on CodePen. So now you can share this document, copy URL, make sure that the document is not restricted anymore with link, copy the URL, done. So this is what you submit in your assignment, in the URL for a CodePen. I think we have successfully fixed all our work. Now JavaScript and done all this. So successfully achieved is so we've appended this already. So it's the tax2 doc that we are going to send to this thing. So I think we are done.